There are 10 individuals who were exploited and abused by Mr. Epstein. They are here today. None of them have had a chance to speak to anyone in the department or FBI, though they've asked repeatedly.
A Senate confirmation hearing, July 15th, 2026. 10 survivors in that room, one man with the answer 20 feet away. What followed was the most specific yes or no question of the year, and one of the most carefully avoided answers. 10 people asked for a meeting. They were told someone would get back to them. Nobody did. They asked again, nothing. They came here as a last resort.
So can I get your word under oath that within the next 30 days, you will personally sit down with these 10 victims?
The senator is Dick Durbin of Illinois. The man across from him is Todd Blanche, acting attorney general, former personal defense attorney for Donald Trump. The conflict is one word. Durbin wants yes, Blanche will not say it. Here is what the record shows. Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Bipartisan, deadline December 19th, 2025.
Is it not true that Congress had to pass a law requiring the Trump administration to disclose the Epstein files? The Epstein Files Transparency Act passed by bipartisan roll calls in the House and Senate to finally get the files made public?
The DOJ missed that deadline. Files review didn't begin until January 5th, 2026, 2 weeks late. The House forced a discharge vote. The administration complied only after. Throughout all of this, 10 survivors kept requesting meetings. Not one request was answered.
We were prohibited by law from producing those documents.
Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act bipartisan. Both chambers. Deadline December 19th, 2025. The DOJ missed it. Review of the files didn't begin until January 5th, 2026, 2 weeks late. The House then forced a discharge vote to compel production. The administration complied only after that. Throughout all of this, 10 survivors kept requesting meetings with DOJ and FBI. Not one of those requests was answered.
So can I get your word under oath that within the next 30 days, you will personally sit down with these 10 victims?
I appreciate them being here today. I also have somebody from my office who's spent her entire career working on cases like Mr. Epstein's. She's in charge of our task force investigating human trafficking. She's available to talk to them.
Drop that answer carefully. Durbin asked whether Blanche would personally sit down with the 10 survivors. Blanche offered a staff member, not himself, a staff member, and he offered her availability, not a commitment, not a date, not a yes. Durbin was not finished.
I'm asking you on the record.
If they have lawyers, as you know, I'm prohibited from meeting directly with them. I have met with counsel for survivors, as has many people in the Department of Justice, over 30. But if they are represented by counsel.
A new barrier appeared, legal ethics. He said he was prohibited from meeting directly with represented parties. That is a real rule. It is also a rule that has exceptions, particularly in oversight contexts, in confirmation hearings, in situations where the official controls the investigation and the survivors are not adverse parties in active litigation. Durbin knew this, and he pressed again. This is not our interpretation. This is the documented exchange, word for word, from the permanent Senate record.
I am definitely part of it, and I have been from day one.
And it will be done within the next 30 days?
I can keep on repeating myself, but I said it could get done as soon as today. It could have gotten done last week. We remain available to meet with any victim or their representative at any time.
That available. That word is doing enormous work in that sentence. Available is not a meeting. Available is not a date. Available is not a yes. And notice the shift. He moved from I am prohibited to I remain available. Those are contradictory positions. If he was prohibited by ethics rules from meeting directly with represented survivors, he cannot also be available to meet with any victim at any time. Either one of those statements is accurate. The record contains both of them.
Will you notify the committee when you've done this?
That would be prohibited by law if they're talking about an ongoing investigation.
I'm asking you if you'll notify the committee that you met with the survivors.
It depends on what they said. I'm not sure I'm allowed to notify you if there's an ongoing investigation.
Well, you're dancing on the head of a pin here.
I'm not dancing on any pin.
Dancing on the head of a pin. That phrase entered the Senate record, and it is the most precise description of what the transcript shows happened in that room. Durbin was not asking for case files, not for grand jury materials, not for names. He asked whether Blanche would notify the committee that a meeting had occurred, not what was said, not what was decided, that a meeting happened. Blanche said he was not sure he was allowed. A man seeking confirmation as the permanent Attorney General of the United States told a Senate Oversight Committee he was not sure he could tell them a meeting took place.
The United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs when it comes to tax liability. That's how it reads.
A second document entered this hearing, not the Epstein files, a different document, one that Blanche personally signed as part of a settlement between the IRS and President Trump, his sons, and his organizations. Blanche signed an agreement releasing, waiving, acquitting, and forever discharging them from tax liability on any past filings. Blanche said this type of settlement is done regularly and does not make anyone above the law. Durbin asked how often this has been done involving a sitting president of the United States. Blanche said he was not sure it had ever been done, but he said the type of settlement was not unique. The agreement is in the record, the signature is in the record, and the words forever discharges are in the record.
Among those who were pardoned by the president are individuals who've gone on to commit serious crimes against innocent victims across the United States. Do you think that blanket pardon by the president of January 6 rioters was the right thing to do?
I think that the Constitution gives the president the full power to pardon anybody for any reason he wants. And so I don't question President Trump's authority, or is it?
3 subjects, 1 hearing, 1 man gave the same answer to all 3. On the survivors, available. On the tax immunity document, typical settlement. On the pardons, constitutional authority. None of those answers address whether the actions were appropriate. They address whether they were legal. Durbin was asking about something else. He was asking whether anyone in that room, anyone with access and authority, ever said stop. At the beginning of this video, 10 survivors were sitting in that room. They had asked for meetings repeatedly. No one had called them back. They came to a Senate confirmation hearing as a last resort, watching the man who controls the answer field the question 6 different ways without saying yes. Here is what the record shows from beginning to end.
You can meet with them. Will you meet with them?
I'm not sure what you're looking for me to say. As I said,
Yes, is what I'm looking for.
there are, if they're represented by counsel, I'm not allowed to meet with them directly, as you know. I assure you, the FBI, who are experts in this space, prosecutors who are experts in this space, and me, if necessary.
6 questions, 1 answer. He said he was prohibited. Then he said he was available. He said the meeting could happen today. Then he said he was not sure he could notify the committee that it happened. He said his heart breaks for every survivor. Then he said he was not sure what Durbin was looking for him to say. The survivors in that room heard every word, the record contains every word, and the meeting, as of this hearing, had not been scheduled. Senator Durbin said, "Will you meet with them within the next 30 days?" The record shows Blanche answered that question 6 times without saying yes. That gap between 6 answers and 1 missing word is where this story lives. What the record reveals is not complicated. 10 people came to Washington asking for 30 minutes with the man who controls the files about what was done to them. He told the Senate he was available. They are still waiting. What would you have said to him? Leave it below.